dealing with grief during coronavirus. Freedom is the integrative counselor and psychotherapist. My this week topic is on grief. When I'm referring to grief, it's not all about death. People have lost jobs, financially independent through this coronavirus. And also beside losing jobs and financial independence, people have lost loved ones. So on my this week topic, I will talk about stage of grief. I will be using Kübler-Ross stage of grief diagram, which will explain how stage works. This is the diagram I was talking about, is Kübler-Ross's grief cycle. Individual who's going through grief of loss, then I'm going to go through them in a particular order. So when I'm referring to grief or loss, would have loss in so many different ways. For example, people losing job, that's a loss. People they could be grieving about their job. People losing financial independence, they're grieving about that, so that's another loss. And also during this time, because people have stayed indoor for quite some time, a lot of relationship has finished, or people have gone through relationship breakup, will another loss. So dealing with grief and loss doesn't have to be only about death. This stage is denial, or it could be anger, or it could be depression, or it could be bargaining, or it could be. So denial stage is individual will be very avoidant, they not want to speak to anybody, or they don't want to talk about what has happened. So they're avoiding the situation. Confused, shock, fear, frustration. These are the denial stage. Anger stage, where individual will be feeling frustrated, irritated, and anxious. So when I'm talking about, say for instance, somebody is losing loved one again, they'll be frustrated because they had a caregiver or the secure base. So now the secure base is gone, they might feel frustrated, feel angry or anxious, don't know what to do because they had a secure base. All of a sudden that secure base is gone, will not know what to do with it. Next stage is depression. They will go through some form of depression. This feel overwhelmed, depressed. Next stage is bargaining. So is struggling to find a meanings. So again, talking about losing somebody, losing parent, or losing someone in many different ways, and for others they might not have any effect at all. So those individuals who have something they have lost, they might understand the grief they're going through, what they have gone through. So this Kübler-Ross grief cycle is not all about death. When you're talking about grief, grief could be like you losing something, someone which is meaning to you. For example, job, relationship, financial security. So all these things is grief. So when you're dealing with grief, there are 5 stages, and these 5 stages don't go in any particular order. So those individuals who have multiple loss, they might go through go back and forward in their stages. Lots of people might have been affected. Denial stage, they're avoidant, they don't want to talk about the situation, they finding it very difficult to absorb that information that this has happened to them. For example, like job, they might have lost their job, so they might finding it very difficult to accept that they have lost a job. Confused, fear and shock. So there could be fear about the future, or there could be fear like, what do I do? How do I deal with it now? And anger. So when they're angry, they could be frustrated, irritated and anxious. In these two stages, they're looking for lots of communication, lots of information from people around them. For example, if we're talking about death, maybe they will want to find out how this has happened, or they want to get more information from the hospital. Or if we're talking about job, maybe some individual who have lost job, they maybe want to get more information from the company or the organization they work for. So they want to get more information. The third stage is depression, where individual will feel overwhelmed, helpless, hostile. So I'll give an example of a few individuals who have lost lots of things during this COVID. For example, one particular person have lost dad, relationship, lost a job. So he's got multiple losses in his life. So he's going through this cycle, Kübler-Ross cycle, not in any particular order, going back and forward. Another person have lost mom, dad, auntie. Another person who I have also knew through this grief process is lost job. So there's people who have affected in many different ways. So when they lost something, they will be feeling depressed. With this depression, they will be feeling overwhelmed, helpless. So they're looking for lots of emotional support. And those individuals who were affected by this, maybe seek some professional help. Or even if you can't have any professional help at this moment because of financial, maybe seek some emotional support from your friends and family. And the last two stage is where we're looking for guidance and direction, because this is the stage where they are trying to find some meanings and reaching out to others and telling themselves a story is convincing them what has happened. And the last stage is acceptance. Acceptance is where we are exploring what's the option available for them. So when I'm talking about jobs, maybe they're looking for options. How can they move forward? What are the options available for them? Or also when I'm referring to death, maybe the person they lost, it could be their caregiver, main caregiver or secure base. So without that person, how can they live their life? So they're looking for options to move forward. So they're putting new plan in place for them to move on. So this is the cycle of Kübler-Ross. So those individuals who have grief, who have gone through loss, then I'm going to go through them in a particular order. Thank you for watching my channel and please do subscribe it.